Now we're going to learn about trigonometry. Trigonometry is used when sides and angles are involved. So when we did Pythagoras, it was only sides, no angles. So as soon as you see a question with an angle involved, you know you're going to have to use trigonometry. Now first we have to learn to name the sides. The hypotenuse is the longest side opposite the right angle. So this side is the hypotenuse, and you can see it's directly opposite the right angle. The adjacent side is next to the given angle. Now we haven't got a given angle here, so let's say we're given this angle, we'll call it A, and in this case the adjacent side is next to it. So this is the adjacent side here. Now if we were looking at this angle, the adjacent side would be different. Now the opposite side is opposite the given angle, so if you stood in the angle and shot an arrow to the other side, you would get the opposite side, so it's not attached to the angle. So once you know how to label your sides, you're ready to start using your trig ratios. There are 3 trig ratios that describe the relationship between a pair of sides and a given angle, and here they are here: sine, cosine and tangent. And we have to learn the relationships. So the sine of the angle is the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. The cosine of the angle is the length of the adjacent side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. Or the tangent of the angle is the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the adjacent side. Now all that is very wordy, so we're going to shorten it. We could shorten this to sine A, I won't put the equal sign there, equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine A is shortened to cos A, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan A is opposite over adjacent. Now that's still pretty wordy to remember, so let's shorten it again. Go down here. Sine A is O over H. Cosine A is A over H. Tan A is O over H. O over A. Sorry. And this is how, from these 3 trig ratios here, we get the mnemonic SO, CA, TOA. Now if you remember SO, CA, TOA, you'll remember the sine of the angle is the opposite over the hypotenuse, the cosine of the angle is the length of the adjacent over the length of the hypotenuse, and the tangent of the angle is the length of the opposite over the length of the adjacent. And even better to remember is to put them into 3 triangles. We make 3 triangles, put a T in them and fill them in. SO, CA, TOA. And in the next bit I'll teach you how to use these triangles. So let's use our trig ratios to find a side given another side and an angle. So we notice with this problem we've got an angle involved, it's 28 degrees. We can't use Pythagoras to find the length of that side, we have to use a trig ratio. So your first step is to label the sides. Okay, the hypotenuse is always easy, it's the one opposite the right angle. We'll put an H on that. It's always good to do this in a different colour. The side opposite the angle is what we have to find, so we'll put an O there. Now we have no information on this side and we don't have to find it, so we do not label it. Okay, so you label 2 sides. Now we look at our triangles. In fact, I'll draw them again here, and we're going to decide which one we're going to use. So, ka, toa. Okay, we want the ratio with an O and an H in it. O and an H, A and an H, O and an A. So we're going to, this one is the trig ratio that we're going to use, and it's the sine ratio. So we've labelled the sides, done that. We've decided we're going to use the sine, that one there. And the next step is to write x is equal to, or whatever letter, unknown letter you use. So x is equal to, and we're going to refer to the trig triangle. We're going to cover the unknown, which means the unknown is x, and that is the O, the opposite. So I'm going to cover that. I'll cross it out. I'll put my finger on it, and what's left is your equation. Now if it's a 2 on the bottom, it's multiplied together. So x equals the sine of the angle, and we better have a look and see what the angle is. It's 28 degrees. The sine of 28 degrees times the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse, which is 10.5 meters. And now you're ready to go to your calculator and look that up. So go to your calculator and key in sine 28 times 10.5, and you should get 4.9 meters. Once again, round to 1 dp, as there is 1 dp in the question. And we've done steps 4 and 5. Now in the next ones I will show you how to do the dividing when it's dividing in your trig ratio.